This morning, Subnautica 2 fans woke up to a not so great news, and if you haven't heard about it yet, Krafton, the publisher of Subnautica 2 and also the owner of Unknown Worlds for a few years now, has announced that they have basically pushed out all the leadership of Unknown Worlds and the creators of Subnautica and replace them literally with the CEO from Striking Distance. You know, the Callisto Protocol, the game which was so good, and we heard so many great things about the development and crunch, and yay! So let's read the presser. New leadership to prioritize development momentum and delivering best possible fan experience for long anticipated Subnautica 2 launch. To put this into non-PR speech means we need more crunch, and Unknown Worlds would have probably not made it to the early access release and pushed back the game. We want to get the money though, so we release it in the state it is. Krafton Inc., the global video game holding company and publisher, today announced a leadership change at its creative studio Unknown Worlds. Steve, please forgive me, Paputzis, gaming industry veteran, has been appointed CEO of Unknown Worlds, where he will oversee the studio's overall management and creative direction. Paputzis joins the company from Striking Distance Studios, where he currently serves as Chief Executive Officer. Again, Calisto Protocol. Paputzis replaces the previous leadership, Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire, effective immediately. While Krafton sought to keep the Unknown Worlds co-founders and original creators of the Subnautica series involved in the game's development, the company wishes them well on their next endeavors. Importantly, Krafton is confident that Paputzis, with decades of experience behind the planning, development, and production of some of the highest-rated games franchises, definitely not the Callisto Protocol, will bring renewed energy and momentum to delivering the long-anticipated Subnautica 2 experience to fans. Then there, who the hell is Krafton? There is nothing more important than the gamer experience. Given the anticipation around Subnautica 2, we owe our players nothing less than the best possible game as soon as possible, said Krafton's chief executive officer. We are thrilled Steve is joining us in our shared commitment at Krafton and Unknown Worlds to deliver Subnautica 2 as more complete and satisfying entry in the series, one that truly lives up to players' expectation. As part of its oversight, Krafton is committed to achieving a regular milestone to assess progress across its creative studios. These reviews, based on clearly defined metrics and targets, will help ensure the games meet both creative and quality standards. This process is essential to delivering the right game at the right time. Unknown Worlds leadership fully supports this process and is committed to meeting player expectation. The new leadership, of course. So if you're wondering what the hell is all this, and then he is putting out a blurb, it's just milestones. I assume that Subnautica 2 is very much behind on schedule, which is just happening. And unfortunately, Krafton doesn't have that. They don't want that. Like, they have milestones, they agreed on those milestones, and they just say, no, you reach them. I mean, let's be honest here, that Subnautica 2 is probably not very far, or as far as Krafton wants it. Became pretty clear if you have seen the last two developer blocks. The last two, like, as much as I appreciate the Subnautica developer blogs they were giving out, they gave you very much the impression of, oh, this early, huh? Ooh, yeah, that's early. So I personally don't have a problem with that. I always say take your time, make it good, and please don't burn out the developer in the process. Like, this is how we are losing some really great minds. Like, that is actually one of the true reasons why so many good developers have been leaving the industry. No, it's not some like Vogue bullshit, DEI hires, or whatever your crazy YouTuber is coming up with. It's that there's an industry which has some serious working issues and has been burning through some really great workers. We have seen all those reports where people are being pushed to the limits of, yeah, this is your 80-hour work week, your 90-hour, your 100-hour work week for half a year, for a year, where we are paying and treating you like shit. Oh, and please be creative. Like, no, that is a bad thing. And that is exactly what we are basically seeing here. Like, yes, Unknown Worlds is apparently behind schedule. Shocker, right? And Krafton is like, not gonna happen. So they probably wanted to push that more, or said like, yeah, let's compromise, right? You would push out early access even earlier, and then we will fix it over time. And I assume that the three founders were just like, we're not doing that. So that's how it all ended in the end. Of course, personal opinion here, I have never understood why they sold Unknown Worlds to Krafton, really. Like, yes, Krafton was probably like throwing quite a bit of money at them. Money. But it's also like, why? Like, didn't Subnautica make a bunch of money? As far as we know, Subnautica has been massively successful. Is still massively successful. So why doing that? Especially Krafton never made a lot of sense, because Krafton is normally like a live service kind of MMO publisher in South Korea, right? And it's just a weird thing to go with them. So I never understood that. On a personal opinion, I never understood that. But here we are. This is, of course, not a good sign at all. And this definitely makes me think, from a highly anticipated title, maybe even going into early access this year if we are lucky. Now it seems like it's guaranteed. Question is, in which state? I am now very cautious. I would be very cautious. Will it be there day one? Yeah, as a content creator, because, Subnautica. But as a gamer, ooh, ooh, I don't know. But yeah, again, this is not a good news. Even though they are trying to paint it as much as possible. That especially also all three of them just said, nah, we are out, is a big thing. That's a big thing. So yeah, that really sucks. Of course, as always, I will keep you posted if there's more news regarding Subnautica 2. If you want to see more of that, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, for more survival games and RPG guides, news, videos, streams, and all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.